let's talk to Max Raynor. He's a sales associate at NEX Exchange, co-founder and director of WINZAP, and that's available apparently in the App Store on iPhone and Android.
It is indeed.
Very good morning to you, young Max.
Good morning.
Right, let's kick off. You're a sales associate for NEX.
Yep.
What's that all about?
What's that all about? So for NEX on the sales side, I mean, really it's about bringing more companies to market. I mean, that is the essential thing of being a sales guy at NEX. But really it's quite a lot broader. So in terms of who we're speaking to in the market, it's trying to build the community as well. In order to do a good job for companies, you need to be able to also offer them, access to investors. We need to offer the retail side of things for the brokers as well. So it's kind of a mix of a few things. But I mean, the ultimate goal is to bring companies onto the exchange, which in recent times hasn't been the easiest of things.
Yep.
But on that, we're also doing quite a good job of retaining the companies as well. I think the last time you spoke to Patrick, whilst we only had 5 or 6 companies on sort of in the last part of last year, we were bringing more on than we were losing, which in this space is...
But it's quite attractive in terms of the listing fees are considerably cheaper than some of the competitors, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, if you compare our actual fees to AIM, for example, they're comparable, but where we actually make a difference is with the partners that the companies are using in order to come to market. So the corporate advisors, we have a much wider base of corporate advisors. Some don't want all the bells and whistles of the equity research, of the broking. They just want the listing or the quotation. So we've got corporate advisors which can assist with that, which brings the cost down significantly. So to join the market at the moment, we're looking at somewhere probably between 100 and 150,000 pounds, whereas some of our competitors, for example, you're probably looking at 350 to 500.
Okay, so one of the criticisms of NEX has been the fact that it's not particularly liquid. Any plans to resolve that? Is there anything you can do about that?
Yeah, I mean, what we're trying to do is we're trying to increase the retail broker access. So we've already done quite a lot of work with the likes of Barclays, the Share Centre, to make sure that these platforms are online platforms, just to make it as easy as possible for investors to be able to access the platform and be able to trade the stocks. If you look at quite a lot of our, quite a lot in the blockchain space at the moment, whilst everybody in the past has been saying, you can't do much trading on NEX, they somehow are able to find a way in order to trade these stocks. And so I think we have made a lot of progress in that space. But it also comes down to the companies. A lot of the companies joining the market are in the EIS space, which means when you come to the market and you've raised the EIS money, you're probably not going to trade for 3 years anyway. So in terms of the people holding the stock, they don't particularly want to trade because they don't want to lose their investment benefits. And the size of the company as well. I think if you're looking at companies with, say, a market cap of 10 to 20 million, with a free float of 10 to 20%, there isn't actually that much left. There isn't that much in the market. And I think that's why small cap exchanges are inherently illiquid.
Right. But the key thing on that is because it's still a market maker driven system, there is always a two-way price. Of
course.
So you can get in or get out in theory.
You can always get in and out in theory, yes. The brokers will always trade. The ones that are NEX broker members, they will trade. So yes, in theory, if you want to get in, it just comes down to, again, with small cap, in the small cap space, it comes down to the spreads as well. What we find with a lot of the market makers on NEX Exchange, they will actually quote in a bigger size order than they will with, say, a lot of AIM stocks. So you can actually trade more. Bigger chunks on NEX than you can on AIM a lot of the time.
Okay, well that's an interesting point. Right, now let's talk about your personal, your sideline. Okay, you've created WINZAP, which is a football betting app, and the headlines here: it's free. There's cash jackpots. Your sights are set on horse racing. Basically, you get 30 free credits, and you can do individual, multiple bets, i.e. accumulators. £500 prize funds, top 5 get it. Revenues from adverts, you can play it on your phone. This is not gambling, this is a gaming platform. Do I really want to have another gaming platform?
So what we're trying to do with it is, Well, where it really came from is if you watch the football on a Saturday or the horse racing, you're constantly being served with advertisements for £50 deposit bonuses here, free bets there, and in actual fact they're nonsense. And it's come out recently in the BBC that a lot of the companies now are going back on that because it just isn't acceptable. The players themselves are never probably going to see that cash again, or they've got to play it over 50 times before they'll ever see it. So where we want to come into the market is, well, if the thing that is bringing, getting the players involved with betting is the fact that it's free, why don't you just make a platform where it's completely free for people to be able to get involved, whether it's the football, horse racing, or even casinos, but there's still the prize element there. So essentially, we're bringing something where people have it. There's a common element, there's a common interest, making it competitive, and making it completely risk-free with a prize at the end of it.
Okay, so what's the take-up been? How long have you been going on this?
So we started at the start of the football season. That's when we launched. We had some ups and downs along the way, but we're finally starting to.
Is that the app having bugs or?
Yes, but also
or irrational football results.
A little bit of everything, but it's it was a little bit from a sort of a regulatory side of things to make sure to try and get our positioning completely correct. We don't want to be described as gambling because we're not. You're not gambling anything. It's completely free. But sort of over the last couple of months, we're right at the start of that hockey stick at the moment. And we've got a big few months ahead before the World Cup where we're planning to make a lot of noise.
So the World Cup this year, isn't it?
Exactly. So it's kind of the perfect year for us to start off. But on that as well, we don't want to be a football app. We want to be something where people can come on and play their favourite games. They can have a go on their favourite horses. We don't use the word bet. We use the word zap instead because again we want to get completely away from the betting sort of stigma. And we want people to be able to play these games just like you would on any other site with no risk, but the opportunity to win real cash.
On that note, Max, I'm going to go and do some zapping. Thank you very much indeed for your time.
Thank you.